3, 2.
And we're going. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the High Button Podcast. Also, Jeff, I completely forgot that today was a holiday. My bad for making you come in, but it's not that tough of work. What's the holiday?
Victoria Day?
Victoria Day, and it's Monday.
Yep. May 22nd.
Yeah, that's today. Yeah, what's going on, everyone? Welcome. What a weekend. We're still in the weekend of sports. You know, one thing after this, past weekend, why do I keep saying that? It's still the weekend. One thing about this weekend I've learned is that we're all pretty much losers. We all, as sports fans, understand your team losing. 99 out of 100 times your team has a chance to win this thing that we like to call a championship. You're most likely going to lose, your team. Halifax Moose has experienced it yesterday. Edmonton experienced it last week. The Maple Leafs experience it every single year. We're all losers, and we all know the feeling of being losers. So when I was thinking about this yesterday when the Mooseheads lost, it made me feel a little bit better thinking that, okay, yeah, right now, Halifax, we lost. Great run. But everyone shares this experience of losing together. The pool of losers are bigger than the pool of winners. So that gave me a little bit of comfort yesterday, and that was a little deep thought on my ride home of knowing that I was with a vast majority of people that shared a common feeling of being a loser. But yeah, that was my 2 cents on yesterday.
Yeah, that was a tough one, man. What was it like? Explain your day at the Mooseheads yesterday.
Well, first of all, I got home from the cottage around 2. Huge. It was like rain. I was going like 70 miles an hour on the highway. There was just a bunch of rain. It was tough to drive. So we got home late, and then I crashed on the couch and just started watching golf. And you know that mood where you're almost about to take a nap and fall asleep watching TV, and the rain's coming down, you're warm, you got the blanket. Like, that's where I was at.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden I look at my phone and it's 4:15.
Really?
And I'm like, oh no.
That's cutting it close.
Like, I gotta go. Because especially you gotta take parking into consideration. You have to
yeah.
take the traffic into consideration, the rain. Everyone's slower when it rains, which is another weird thing. Remember, like, the kids that were always late for school? Oh, sorry, I'm late. It's raining.
Yeah.
Rain
it was a long morning.
Like, rain just always slows things down. And so I get there. I made it. I surrendered on the close parking. I just knew I wasn't going to get anywhere close to the rink, so I just parked over by the pointy roof pool, Centennial pool.
Yeah.
I just surrendered. Like, all right, I'm going to walk. I parked far, and it worked out. Found a spot like that. Ended up walking. Made it in time for the 5 o'clock puck drop. And at the very beginning of the game, Halifax had a great push. For the other games I was at the Scotiabank Center, Quebec always had a first strong push to start the game. But I thought, 5 o'clock start, maybe the universe is off, because the games were always starting at 8. So I was like, all right, well, maybe if the games are at 5, maybe something will switch. And I think it did. Halifax had a great first 2 periods. Yeah, they let in some goals, unfortunately. But in terms of energy in the building, it was very Halifax is going to win vibes. We're going Game 7. So as we're in Game 6, the third period, I'm like, okay, man, there's a chance that Quebec doesn't pull through here. There's a Game 7 in Quebec. So my mind is going, okay, what media members from Nova Scotia are going to Quebec for Game 7? So I go over to Willie Paloff. I'm like, hey, Willie, like, if this goes 7, are you going up to Quebec tomorrow for game? Are you going? And he goes, nah, like, I'm not going. He goes, are you going? I go, I'd like to go. Like, flights were pretty expensive. I was like, I don't know, we'll see. And he goes, well, if you do want to go, message. There's a guy who I talked from the Q. He's like in charge of the media, and he said that there was like a charter flight to Quebec for all the media and all the French media, and then all the executives of the Q are going. I could pay him, I can get on a flight with him. So I was emailing him, and I was going, hey, Maxime, if this goes Game 7, could I get a lift with you? Let me know how much. I'll e-transfer, yada, yada. So I already had the motion going of getting on the flight with the Q people to go to Quebec for today for Game 7, which I kind of regret now because I feel like I might have jinxed it.
Definitely,
I don't know.
Yeah.
But I didn't say. I just said, is there an available seat? I just wanted to know. So anyways, as I'm writing out this email, LaRue scores to make it 4-3, I believe it was.
Oh, yeah.
Or no,
Yeah,
is
no,
it
you're
4?
right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
LaRue. So I'm sending this email. And I'm like, yes, let's go. Give me an available seat on this
Oh,
flight. I'm going to Quebec. I'm just pumped. There's only 3 minutes left. And then I don't know, what was it?
oh,
30 seconds later,
yeah.
Quebec scores, and then another minute later, Quebec scores again to go up. And then you're just drained. When I talk about energy swings, I've never felt a bigger energy swing in an arena. You go from that LaRue scoring, Marty Firk vibes, just like, yeah, the whole arena erupted, to silence.
Oh, man.
People leaving the exits. It's Sunday. It's raining. Energy's just
The run is over.
flooded.
It's dead.
And, then the game ended, and it's very unfortunate. It was, you look around and you see, you're up top there in the press box, and you look down and you just see people's faces. Even up in the press box, you look at like the Q execs, the managers, the scouts, and everything, and they're just kind of shocked and blown away. I think everyone up there thought it was going 7 after LaRue scored that goal. But hockey is such a unforgiving game. You have to be on your toes all the time. And Quebec, you got to give it to them. They did not quit. When I was down in the Zamboni entrance waiting to go into the ice to interview everyone, there was a guy that works for Scotiabank Center. I don't know who he was. He was just like a staff attendant, whatever. And I was standing there with Mavs, and he went up to Mavs, and he's like, Mavs, you got to look at it this way. Win or lose, this was the last game they could have played at home. They made it all the way. Yeah, did they make it to the last game? No. But either way you look at it, they kind of did make it to the last game of the year. So you kind of have to take that as a win. And I looked at it that way a little bit, and it did make sense. Think about how many teams have tried to get to that point. Game 6 of the Quebec Major Junior Hockey League Finals.
Yeah.
It is unfortunate they fell. It is a loser mentality to say that. I get it, but
Definitely.
you have to find you got to find a positive in everything.
Yeah.
And that was the positive I
Silver
left
lining.
with.
Silver
It's
lining.
the silver lining.
Yeah.
And then also everyone's a loser type of thing. That helped.
That was a random ice crew member who was saying that to Mavs right before you walked out.
Yeah, well, Mavs knows everyone in that rink. So some guy I've seen his face before. I don't know what he did. He looked, I think he was like a technician or something. And he's like, you got to look at it either way. This was the last game the Mooseheads were going to play at home anyways. And I was standing there as the players were coming off the Mooseheads, and just you could see the defeat in their face. It was more shock.
Yeah.
It was more like, whoa, we were just up 3 minutes ago and now we're going home.
Yeah.
LaRue was walking out. I shook his hand. He was pissed. I was like, hey man, head up. You had a great series.
Really? What,
Said
did he say
thanks.
anything?
He just said thanks, man. He's just in shock.
Yeah.
It was a tough one.
He just scored the biggest goal of his career, and it wouldn't end up mattering 3 minutes later.
His head was down, and I was like, "Man, head up! You had a great series. You'll be back in a scenario like this." And he's like, "All right." You don't want to talk to him. You got to let him go to the room, but you just got to put your 2 cents in.
Yeah.
It was tough.
He's an awesome, legendary Mooseheads player, I think, LaRue,
for
at this
sure.
point. When he scored that goal, I was like...
Playoff performer.
I was like, put his name in the rafters, but... It wasn't meant to be. I was amongst the fans up there in the upper bowl.
Oh, you were at the game.
Yeah. And the place just exploded, man. Exactly like you'd feel like with the when they scored that goal. Everyone's cheering, pumped up, and I just hear this little kid behind me, probably 16 years old. Stop celebrating like they won, forever
It's true.
what is it, the pessimistic side. He was just stop, and everyone's going nuts. And then 30 seconds later they score, and he's just looking around like I called it. It's like, all right, congrats, kid. We're down. We're done.
He's right, though.
Yeah, you got one over on us. Nice. It's so embarrassing to enjoy things and have hope. No, but it was fun. It was still a fun game nonetheless. But man, it was just the legacy of winning one of those cups, right? And remembering the team. We always think about that 2013 team, every single player on it. This year we had the World Juniors. Like you said, you get to the second last game of the entire year. And to go out like that, and then the Jays this year, and then the Oilers, and just nothing's going right for the...
Yeah, we're all losers.
Yeah, we're all losers.
Let's just celebrate that. We're all losers.
Yeah, it makes the winning sweeter.
Makes the winning a lot sweeter. If you're, living in Quebec and you're waking up right now, you're, just embrace it. Have fun with it. But for the rest of us, we're gonna sit here and we're gonna sulk. We're here.
I guess we're still the number 2 organization.
Yeah.
just right behind them.
That's why there's always a next season. Anyway, so I'm down there in the Zamboni entrance. You have to wait until RDS/TSN is done with their main interviews until the chumps are allowed on the ice, a.k.a. me. So eventually we're allowed on the ice, and then interview Justin comes into play. And I'm thinking two guys, Patrick Waugh, Roy? I say Waugh. Patrick Waugh.
Yeah.
Patrick Waugh. And Davis Cooper. Davis Cooper from Halifax, played with the Max. Have a little bit of a history with him. Went to TELUS Cup with him in Thunder Bay like 5 years ago. So quick little interview with him. Not too nervous about that. Have a couple questions. I was messaging dudes. I was like, dudes, what do I ask Waugh? What do I ask Davis? He was home, so he had a good understanding of watching from TV. He had a little bit more composure than I did. Had a couple great questions, so I relayed them to Waugh. And here's the thing about when after... It's a lot of French media interviewing Waugh. So I don't really want to be in the scrum because, one, I don't really know what he's saying. And two, I don't want to switch over to an English question as everyone's recording in French because they're on French TV. So I just didn't go to school for media. I don't know the rules for a media scrum, how it works. You know, all these guys there, they're in suits. They got 7-year degrees.
Yeah.
I'm there in my Patagonia yellow rain jacket. Just, hey man, what's it? You know,
Mustard colored.
You know, I'm trying to do my best here.
Yeah.
So I let the scrum finish with the French media. And I hover, very very similar to Tom Bernard. You hover, you linger. I'm a lingerer. And you wait for that scrum to be over. Eventually it's over. And you kind of feel bad because you want to let him celebrate with his team. But I couldn't let that happen. So I said, excuse me, Mr. Waugh, do you mind if I just grab a couple questions in English? And he wasn't overly thrilled, but he was just like, yeah, no problem. Let me go. Sure, that's fine. I'll do it. And I saw him look down at my... I had my Montreal golf quarter zip on.
Yeah.
And because he was looking for like what part of the media I was with, because I didn't have my media pass on or anything.
No high button.
I had nothing out there. It was just me. And I saw him look down, and I saw him look up, and he was just a little confused because I had my iPhone and I wasn't like recording because all these guys have audio recorders, and I'm just there with my iPhone, put it on wide, boom, here we go. And I just essentially asked him how the crowd was in Halifax, and he answered tremendously. He said that the crowd here was awesome. He was a really, really, really nice guy, understanding, and he's very thoughtful in his details. Even that, he's thoughtful in his answers. Even when he was answering in French, I don't really know what he's saying, but I could pick up that he was very detail oriented with every single word that he was coming out, even with the other media. Even though all this is going on, he wants to celebrate with his team. He was very patient and understanding with the media, which he was with me, even though he probably didn't really want to speak to me after just talking for 10 minutes with the French media.
Yeah.
But even just getting those 2 questions in with him, it was a cool experience. Arguably one of the, I guess you could say it's an interview. Arguably one of the biggest interviews I've ever done.
Yeah.
Even though it was only 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Just not even 2 minutes, 30 seconds, if that. But very, very cool individual. I thought he'd be a little bit more standoffish, but he was just open. How are you? Yeah, absolutely. I guess he just won a championship, so it's hard to be pissed off.
I was about to say, I think that was his first championship with them. I don't think
it was.
So you've probably got him at one of the happiest moments he's had in the last 10 years.
Yeah, that's a good point.
In that like literally 30 seconds after hugging his team captain or whatever. So you caught him at a good time.
But no, he was great. And then after, actually no, I did Davis Cooper before Mr. Waugh, because Mr. Waugh was just surrounded with media, so I just let him be. And there was no one around Coop. I was like, Coop, what up? Asked him a couple questions, and you could tell when you ask these guys these questions, they're still in shock. They don't know what's happening. They're just... imagine winning a championship, and then 30 seconds later, someone's going, "How does it feel?" You're trying to get a sip of water. You're still, you're tired. And that was Cooper. He's just in shock about what happened, and just nonetheless, being able to be on the ice for those moments is very cool. Like 2 feet away, Patrick Waugh is lifting the cup, getting some yellow Gatorade. I thought it would have been red with Quebec, but they dumped the yellow Gatorade on him. Just being. It's almost like cheating a bit. You get to pretend like you're part of the winning.
Definitely.
You just kind of have to Embrace it. You could give anyone a hug on that ice and they'd hug you back. Just they don't care. They're just they're like drunk of happiness. They're just on another planet. So that's definitely one of the perks of the job, is being able to experience that with multiple winning teams. So really, really cool experience.
You kind of like feel the energy off the ice, man. Like it's like buzzing from the ice up, just like in that whole area. Yeah, it's cool.
And we had someone, here's the thing I think about, obviously we're a Nova Scotia based company, and we had a couple people message saying like, why are you interviewing Quebec players? Why are you on the ice doing this? And a part of the person's right, but on the other side, you have to think bigger. Like at the end of the day, we're part of the media, new school media, and it's just good content. I understand you're from Halifax. You might be a little upset that I'm on the ice interviewing Quebec players, but Davis is from Halifax.
Yeah.
And Patrick Waugh is Patrick Waugh. I'm not going to pass up that opportunity to interview Patrick Waugh. What do you want me to do? Say no? I'm going to go home and watch Brooksy highlights. Like no, I'm gonna go interview Patrick Waugh if I have the opportunity. So, everyone out there, not everyone, just a few individuals that were a little upset. You can go do what I think you should do. I'll leave it at that.
Yeah,
I'm going to do what I think's best for this company. You're not dictating. You didn't get this company to where it is by you sitting at home messaging me on Instagram saying, "Hey man, why'd you do that?" So you can shove it.
I do kind of understand, because I understand both sides, because I did go home and I've watched enough hockey this year where I don't get too upset over outcomes, but I was kind of upset and disappointed, and I looked at my phone and I just see a video of you with the High Button account, just with the camera right in Waugh's face, and I was like, oh. But then I was like, yeah, like if it's some random head coach, you're not there, but it's Patty Waugh, and like you said, I think that counts as a High Button interview. We got. It goes on the Mount Rushmore. Remember when Aiden did the one with Landeskog last year too during the parade? It's like 1-2 questions, baby. You're in, you're out. You did the Bedard one. Yeah, that's how you gotta kind of get those big names, unless you're McKinnon. But yeah, it's a cool feeling. It's almost like you have to just do, like, I have a thing on my head where I just go 1, 2, 3, do it, and you just don't even pretend you're human. You just have to pretend you're like water. You're just not even like I just don't like some of these other media members knew Patrick Waugh, but I've never said hey to the guy. Most of us haven't. And it's intimidating, him being right there. In your whole life, you just see the guy on TV stopping pucks, waving to the Montreal crowd. And what's the one where he's like cut over his eye in Colorado after the fight? Like, these people they're like superhumans to us, to hockey fans. Yeah. So to actually see him and living person a foot away from you, it's weird for the first time. And then all of a sudden you actually have access to him, to talk to him like a regular human. It's a weird feeling, but very surreal. And a part of me, maybe there is a trick that they teach in media school, whatever it is, but I don't know the trick. So my trick is just 1, 2, 3. I just say in my head, it's weird. I just go 1, 2, 3 water. I just say it in my head, and then every human emotion is gone. I just pretend like I'm a body of water with a phone. And it's a weird little trick in my head, but just 1, 2, 3 water, and I just do it. It's like jumping off. It's like if you're going to jump out of a plane with a parachute. Like, no one really wants to do that, but apparently it's thrilling. So it's just 1, 2, 3 water, and you just do it. It's basically 1, 2, 3 fuck it. That's Steve-O, man. Steve-O says that since he was a kid, he does all those stunts. He would go 1, 2, 3, and if he ever reached 3 in his count, he had to do it.
Oh yeah.
So he'd be like 1, 2, and then he would pussy out a couple times. Yeah. But if he ever said 1, 2, 3, you can't turn back at that point.
Well, yeah, interviewing Patrick Waugh compared to what Steve-O did is nothing. Yeah, so I'll take my job over his.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a really cool 24 hours. Drove home from the cottage in a rainstorm, came home. I watched like a bit of golf, almost fell asleep for a nap. Got in the car, found parking, went to the rink, watched a great hockey game. One of the best years of hockey of my life. It's still not over, but I don't think I'll be to an NHL playoff game this year. But one of the best years of hockey of my 31 years on this planet, for sure. Let's get to a more serious topic. Unfortunately, it has to be addressed. We have tickets to Game 5 of the NBA Eastern Conference Finals, Boston Celtics versus Miami Heat. If you're unaware, Miami is up 3-0 on Boston. Jeff and I are heading to Boston for the Boston Showdown, I believe it's called, for a spring league hockey tournament. About an hour outside of the city, but the first day we're there, we're going to be going to a basketball game that they like to call the Eastern Conference Finals, NBA, Boston, Miami. So, we're in trouble. I've never seen I've seen a basketball game, NBA. It was Raptors versus the Knicks. It was awful. But I'd really like to experience this, to see the Boston Celtics versus the Miami Heat play at TD Garden Game 5 of the Eastern Conference Finals. I think it would be one of the most cooler experiences of my life, of your life as well. So we're in trouble. We need everyone that's listening to this podcast to pray to the basketball gods for us that the Celtics just win one game so we can see Game 5. So I don't know when you want to do that. If you want to do it now, if you want to do it before dinner, like
Before the game.
Before the game, maybe tonight when you go to sleep, like get on your knees and pray on the bed. But if you are I always find the dinner prayers are the biggest. Like God listens the most for. So tonight, if you're having dinner, you grab everyone's hands and you say, Boston Celtics, please win Game 4 so the High Button boys can see Game 5. That's all I'm asking. I'm not asking for money. I'm not asking for anything. Just a little prayer to the basketball gods.
Yeah, that's like 10 words.
That's if that. I don't ask for much. Isn't this podcast free?
Yeah,
so
exactly.
I'm giving this to you for free. Just do me a little prayer, please. You don't have to even grab your family's hands. I don't know how to pray in a group. You just kind of put your head down, close your eyes.
Hands together, head
hands
down,
together,
bow. Yeah.
mean it. Yeah, like a little bow, and just say, please, basketball gods, how many there are, can you allow Boston to win Game 4 so the High Button guys can see Game 5? That's all I'm asking.
It's not looking good.
Yeah, but if they pray, imagine how many people listen to this. How many, if we get like 30, 40 prayers up there, that's a lot of prayers.
That is.
It could
a
happen.
lot of people in our corner. Yeah, I was really feeling confident going into that fourth quarter of Game 2. I was like, just got to hang on for 12 more minutes and we're going.
Yeah.
And it just all went south and it hasn't come back up. So hopefully they can find the heart and soul in Game 4. But I had so many people before the series tell me there's no chance of a sweep.
I know.
I'm putting 0%. Like, you're going, like, you're chilling. And last night I was telling you, I was sitting there with my roommate watching it and it was just silent. And he goes, man, I think they're going to get swept. He goes, I don't think you're going, man. And I said, 3 days ago, you told me there was a 0% chance. So that's life, man. We're all losers.
Honestly, isn't that just back to the beginning of this podcast? We're all losers.
Yeah.
We're all losers, so don't feel bad because we're all in this together.
Yeah.
We're all in this together.
So what are we doing Thursday night if we're not going to the game?
We're not going. I don't know. I don't. So Bruins are out. Is football going? Like New England's not new.
No,
the Patriots
long
aren't
gone.
there.
Long gone. We could do the tour of Fenway where they take you into the locker room and stuff.
Yeah, I've already done that.
Yeah. Okay.
You can go do it. I'll wait outside.
Boston Market. Boys will take a market trip.
Maybe like we can go to like Harvard. Maybe there's like a baseball game. Like it would be cool to go see like a college baseball game or something. BU, Boston College, Harvard. I don't know. There's just we'll find. We got how long's the drive? 10 hours.
Yeah.
You got 10 hours to research something.
So that's the thing. If they lose, do we go later that day so we don't get there so early?
No, I want to get there early regardless because
Okay.
I don't want to waste a day there. If we're going to be in the downtown core for one day, I just kind of want to do something.
Mm-hmm.
I'd rather get there early and just putter around, find something to do.
I really hope they win that game. I really hope they win that Game 4.
Everyone at home's listening, like, oh, poor
I know.
guys, just need to go to a basketball game.
Yeah.
Poor guy.
If you have any must-dos in Boston, message the High Button Instagram account, DM it.
Yeah, that's a
and
great.
we'll do it.
Yeah, I've been there once. Great city. It's a lot of fun. For Red Bull Crashed Ice, like 4, 5, 6 years ago.
Biz said on one of the Chicklets things the other day, he said he loves Halifax. He said it's like a mini Boston but cleaner. So
Halifax is cleaner than Boston?
That's what he said. I don't know. I guess so. It's a lot less big, so probably.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
We'll see. So yeah, just a quick prayer for us. Appreciate it. Golf, the PGA Championship. I love watching these guys perform under pressure. One thing I picked up randomly yesterday was how close the fans are to these pros that are taking shots like out of the rough. Like Victor Hovland had a shot yesterday out of the rough, maybe 7 feet from the fans, where he had to curve it around. It was actually it was a second shot of the round yesterday. He had to curve it around a tree, and he easily could have duffed it and just hit a fan at a ball going 100 miles an hour. I couldn't believe how much trust these fans have in these golfers. Crazy, because there was like that good tournament, and the guy drove a ball and it hit a fan on the left. Not that those good guys are pro golfers, but still, it's just unbelievable the amount of trust that these fans have.
I saw that actually. It was Garrett, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was like their best golfer too, and he just nailed the guy.
It's just, and those guys are good golfers. So imagine how much of a better golfer you need to be on a pro tour to be than those guys. Anyways, I was amazed with how close those fans were. And the rough was so thick. The rain was coming down. You're basically hitting the ball out of like water with grass around it. So much rain, the rough. Oh man! But the thing that impressed me the most out of all these guys is just the consistency of play. Even if they did have a shot that was awful, they were always able to recover. Like that's the biggest difference between, I think, a pro golfer and an amateur golfer. If you have a bad shot, they just always recover and somehow put it on the green, a foot away from the green, and they have somehow chip and putt for par. It's mind-boggling. I unfortunately didn't get to watch a lot of yesterday's golf, like at least the final round. Like as soon as Brooksy teed off, I was gone. Maybe I didn't even know if I did. I got to see him tee off, and then I was gone. But still, unbelievable PGA Championship. So now the debate is that Brooksy should be in the Ryder Cup representing America, but apparently live golfers aren't allowed in the Ryder Cup right now. So they're just saying that it's not best on best if Brooksy isn't there. So we'll see.
Do you like Brooks?
I don't mind him. He's a little bit of a bro, but that is, it is what it is. He's Brooksy. I think in professional sports, you need all the characters you can get. So love him or hate him, he's good for golf because he's a character. He's not a shy, quiet-spoken individual that keeps to himself and wins championships. I think that would be the worst thing ever, having a guy that wins multiple championships that's quiet, keeps to himself, doesn't express how he feels.
Jordan Spieth. A lot of those guys, man.
Yeah.
I'd say 80% of the guys are quiet golfers.
And I just don't think that's the best for professional sports. You want a guy that wins and lets you know that he won. It tells you how he feels. That's what gets emotions involved. That's what gets investors involved. That's what gets politics involved. It's what makes the world spin is emotion and other things. But people that speak their mind, and especially a guy that speaks his mind that wins things, it helps our job become a little bit more easier because it gives us things to talk about.
Well, you're talking about Patrick Waugh and how important that was to you. He was one of the biggest characters in the NHL ever. That's just the difference it makes, right?
100%.
Right there.
And if he's a shy, not the most highly spoken individual, maybe that interview that I did yesterday doesn't go so well. But of who he is, he took his time. He had a couple thoughtful answers for me, and the video did very well on our social media platform. So in the business that we're in of social media and content, whatever it is, having individuals that are outspoken, thoughtful with their words, that care about, I guess, the people that they're talking to, whatever, it helps us. It helps the sports media industry. So Brooksy's Brooksy. And actually, he used to play hockey, I'm pretty sure. He used to play hockey. Yeah, he used to play hockey.
Yeah, he quit because he got his teeth knocked out or something. There's a story from a few years ago.
Oh, did he?
He was a hockey player before he was a golf player. Or golfer, sorry.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
That
was his number one love, hockey, but he jumped over when his face got all mashed up, I think, and then he just became Brooks Koepka.
Well, that makes me love him even more. That's great. But no, and I love the little beef with DeChambeau. I love that.
They squashed it though.
Oh, did they?
They hugged after the round or something.
Yeah, because they had a third round together 2 days ago. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, and he and DeChambeau tweeted out congrats on the win, going above and beyond, showing people they were boys now. So,
oh yeah,
yeah.
I don't know if I like that.
But that's like, that's kind of nice. It's like a rivalry that's wrapped up into a circle, like a complete thing now, and now you move it along.
Okay.
It's the new era of Koepka. He finally won another major.
Nah, I like the old Koepka.
The blonde hair,
Yeah.
taking big money to go to live.
The bad boy.
Yeah, the bad boy of golf.
DeChambeau walks behind him, says something, rolls his eyes. That's the Brooksy I like. Can't let a what do they call it? Can't let a grudge go.
No. Are you a grudge guy?
I am, but grudges aren't good for business. So
No,
you kind
not
of have to
quite.
let them go.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm a grudge guy.
Chip on a shoulder guy. Like,
Yeah.
you don't forget anything.
I know a story. I won't say his name or anything, but a guy, I had a friend, or still have a friend, and he had a boss who had a friend as a childhood, whatever. Mm-hmm. Not even a friend. Maybe he was like a bully, but he did something to him when they were kids. And he's like, one day I'm going to get you back. I don't know when, I don't know how. I'm going to get you back. So anyways, fast forward 20 years later, these two guys are playing a fundraiser softball game for charity.
Yeah.
And the guy who was the bully who like picked on the boss was at home playing catcher. And my friend's boss was rounding third, trying to make a play at home to be safe. And apparently he just smoked him.
Really?
Just charged the plate, laid him out to try to... Of course he wants to be safe, but at the end of the day, apparently he remembered this story from when he was a kid, when he was getting picked on, and just ran him over 20 years later.
That's so funny.
I don't think I'd ever get that intense, but I'll always remember that story about.
Did he like look in his face and say like,
Well, no, so yeah, that's another
receipt paid or something like that?
So apparently when he smashed the catcher, he stood over him. He was like, I told you I remember. I told you. And this was like 20, 30 years ago. So that's a grudge guy.
Wow.
He just held it in him for that long, saw that he was the catcher at home. And this is back when it was acceptable to charge the catcher to try to make a play at home to be safe. And he stood over him and goes, I told you I wouldn't forget.
At the charity softball match.
Yeah. But that's the thing. You're waiting. You only have so many opportunities in life.
Yeah. Hey, man, you're going to put people in playing sports. You're going to get what you're going to get. That's it.
Yeah, but grudges, man, they can kill people too. They're not. If you hold on to a grudge,
yeah,
I feel like that's not the best.
Yeah.
You can't let grudges ruin your day.
Especially people you're close with. If it's someone you see once in a while, it's one thing, but if it's someone you're close with and you care about, then you should probably just let it go.
Yeah. Florida. Holy.
Team of destiny.
Well, when you start out the playoffs by beating the Boston Bruins with one of the best records in hockey of all time, you have to have a little bit of momentum. And then going into a market like Toronto, beating them 4-1.
Dominating them.
Beating them 4-1. And now going into Carolina, what are they up 2-0, 3-0 right now?
I think 2-0, 2 overtime wins by Tkachuk.
Holy smokes. Nothing can stop them right now.
No.
They don't even celebrate. They just leave the ice. They say, see ya. And they go back to Florida. And I think game 3 is tonight. Oh, my God.
Is it game 3 or 4?
All right, now it's time to check.
Yeah, before you go any further.
See, this is why we have phones to check mid-podcast. Okay, so today is NHL today. It's game 3 tonight in Florida, 9 o'clock, which is brutal. 9 o'clock, you know me. If you're a High Button podcast listener, you know that I'm in bed by 9:30, 10. That has to something needs to change. If there's anyone out there that's a sleep-etition that knows how to change sleep schedules, but still, I need 8-9 hours. Like, I need to sleep. Everyone's like, oh, Justin, you'll sleep when you're dead. No, you're dead when you're dead. I need sleep now. But I also love sports, and I need to be able to stay awake for these games. So if there's anyone out there that knows anything about sleep and how I can stay up a little bit later without drinking coffee, let me know. Then we'll go from there.
What time do you wake up at every morning?
Like 6:15.
So could you move that to like 8 and then go like 11 to 8 and get your 9 hours? Or does it need to be...
No, because 8, when I sleep into 8, I feel like I'm eating fast food. You just feel sluggish. You're just like, it's no good.
What about 7:30? That feels a little earlier.
Yeah, 7:30 maybe.
Yeah,
but
you're not feeling bad if you wake up at 7:30.
I just like getting up and getting after it. There's nothing like puttering. I don't even like getting up and getting after it. I like getting up and puttering. I like getting up and like drinking coffee and like looking at things.
That's such like a 30-year-old. I think
Not
that's how old
even.
you are. That's
30
such, yeah.
That's like a 50-year-old thing.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
I love getting up, drinking coffee, and like looking at the lawn and like looking at things. Like looking at people walking by and judging them. Like, what's that person doing?
Yeah,
you just
like get off my lawn, boy.
I like judging and drinking coffee and being up early. That's my thing. But I would be willing to trade that in if I could stay up and watch 3 periods of hockey and 4 quarters of basketball.
What's more important to you at the end of the day?
Sports.
Oh boy.
But like this Celtics Heat game coming up tomorrow, I have to stay up for it.
Mm-hmm.
So I might have to drink coffee and just stay up.
Yeah.
And watch the game. That's a sacrifice I'll have to make somehow.
I respect that, man.
I don't even want to get into
You're
the
a hero.
Jays. I don't want to get into the Jays.
I don't even really know. I was working all weekend.
That's none of my business. That's none of your business. Whenever someone's going through a down spill in life, you just stay out of it. It's not your business. Unless it's a family member and you think you can help them out and give them a call and say, hey, man, I'm here for you. I'm family. It's blood. You know, if you need anything, I'm here for you. But if it's not family and it's not blood, you just let them be. I'm not going to sit here and speculate on the Jays and what's wrong. I know very little about baseball. Maybe when Dudes comes back on here, we'll get him to talk about the Jays. But it's just not good. It's just the Toronto market. I shouldn't say the Toronto market promises things. It's just the fans of Toronto sports teams. Like, I'm such a gullible person.
Mm-hmm.
This is the year. They look great on paper. They look good on the field. Vlad, he's lost 20 pounds. He's looking thin. It's the same conversation. And then I sit there, go out and buy a jersey, and I go, this is the year. Yeah, I'm gullible to that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I've always, like, I can't be let down anymore, Jeff.
You just have like rose-colored glasses. Like you think like, oh, this is destiny. Like the Mooseheads won World Juniors. They're going on this run. They gotta win. The Jays, they blew it against Seattle last year. They're gonna come in. They're gonna win the division. They're gonna go on a run.
Like in my lifetime, I don't think I've been a winner. In my lifetime, I've been a winner. 2013 with the Mooseheads. I wasn't on the team, but like. I was in the building, so I was a winner.
Yeah.
And I was born in Halifax.
Uh-huh.
Montreal's never won a cup in my lifetime. So I've only been a winner once. I guess Colorado, when Nate won, I felt like a winner.
Ah, come on.
Yeah, but Nate's been on the podcast. And me and Nate,
You truly felt like a winner?
I felt like a winner. And especially when he came on after winning the Stanley Cup. Yeah, I felt like I was a winner.
Okay. You also don't have like a diehard hockey team.
I mean, if Montreal's doing well, I'm a fan of Montreal. If they're not doing well, I just kind of sit there and shut up. So I'm not like I'm not a true fan.
Yeah.
But if they are doing well, then I'll pipe up. So there's that. But yeah, like I've never really been a winner other than 2013. I won a couple lacrosse tournaments. That felt great. Mm-hmm. Never won like a regatta, with paddling.
Any big like hockey tournaments?
Yes, I've won a lot of minor hockey tournaments.
Mm-hmm.
Well done, Jeff. Well done. Yeah, so I guess I have been a winner. I've been a winner a lot now that I think about it. Mm-hmm. I am a winner.
Dude, I was talking to my cousin, and she's my age, and she's played like high-level basketball her whole life. She said she's never won a banner.
She gets what I'm talking about.
Yeah, she's like, my entire life, Jeff, I've never won and had like a big celebration on the court.
So she's with us. She's one of us.
She's one of us.
Think about it, like, Corey Connors right now is one of us. Mm-hmm. He's a loser. He played well, but he's a loser right now.
But he's probably had wins, like
he's had wins. I'm just saying, like in the grand scheme of things, day to day, sports fans are losers.
Yeah.
We're losers.
Well, there's Leafs fans. Our good buddy Chris Tracy, shout out. He, I gave him a hard time when we were in PEI. He had never even seen the Leafs win a round until this year.
So Chris
he's 23 years old.
Chris is a loser.
Yeah.
He's with us. What we should do is maybe create a Facebook group and just call it Losers and invite everyone. Think about how many people we could get to join that group because we're all losers.
Should we just change the High Button Facebook to Losers instead?
Maybe he might be onto something.
Yeah.
We could double
Yeah.
our fan base. Not even double, triple, quadruple. Just the Losers.
Yeah.
And then you come join us. We get together at Dairy Queen every Thursday or something.
Yeah.
Get some ice cream. We talk about our feelings.
Mm-hmm.
And then we go home and we keep losing.
Yeah.
And then every now and then, you get to join the winner Facebook group. And then the winner Facebook group meets at McDonald's on like Mondays. And they talk about their feelings. And maybe they get something. Maybe they get like a McFlurry with a burger or something. Like a little something extra because they're winners.
Yeah.
And then you come on back to Dairy Queen because you're a loser after. That's how that works.
Yeah,
We're all losers.
Yeah, we kind of send them off. Like if your hockey team wins the Stanley Cup and you're finally a winner, like we all wave them off like a graduation sort of thing.
Go to McDonald's. You can get whatever you want.
Yeah.
And maybe the losers have to pay for it because they're winners. Because we know eventually they'll be back at Dairy Queen with us.
Yeah, in like 5 years when your team traded all your good players and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That must have been a cool experience being a Pats fan for those years.
Yeah. Yep.
Like annoying for everyone else, but like if you were an actual Pats fan, talk about bragging rights. You could be doing awful in life, but you're a Pats fan, you'll be all right.
Even Pens fans, man. I got buddies who have seen 3 Stanley Cups in their lifetime.
Yeah. I felt like a winner when Sid won. I think we all did.
I wanted that Oilers win so bad this year, man. If they win 1 cup, I'll die happy.
Edmonton?
Yeah.
So if McDavid, it doesn't even have to be McDavid, just Edmonton
No,
in general.
McDavid and Draisaitl together.
So if Draisaitl and McDavid are not there and they win a cup,
Okay.
will that feel like a win?
Yeah,
to you?
no, it'll definitely feel like a win because that would be some insane timeline that, would be almost unbelievable. But it's more like if, there's so much pressure on them because of those contracts running down. It's like if they win 1 cup and then they, whatever happens, I'll be content. But if this, if they just never, anyway, it's an emotional topic for me.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Hey, man, you're a loser. You're with us. Patrick Waugh is going to the NHL. I'm telling you right now. I had the vibe on he's done in Quebec. His contract is up. He said he's not signing again. Isn't he the owner of the team? So if he wants to give himself the contract, he can just do it, whatever.
Yeah.
But man, the vibe in the rink yesterday.
He was there. Yeah.
He's going. I think he's going to the NHL to be a GM or a coach. Imagine if Quebec gets an NHL team and he's just there coaching.
That'd be sick.
In that rink. Imagine if he goes to Toronto and he's the new GM of Toronto.
Can you imagine?
Just think about it. Who was it? Who's the coach of the Mooseheads when they won the Memorial Cup?
Dominic Ducharme.
The opportunities that were given to him after he won the Memorial Cup just went. He was the coach of Montreal when they went to the finals. Mm-hmm. The opportunities that are at your fingertips when you win a major junior championship, I think, are endless. So it'll be interesting to see, especially a guy like Mr. Waugh, what he's going to decide to do next year.
Well, he was the Avs head coach before Bednar was the guy that McKinnon just won with.
Yep.
So he's dipped his foot in that NHL pond, and he didn't exactly swim. He was on that. He was the coach of that terrible Avalanche team that got first overall pick,
they got Nate.
To get it. No, that was before. This was years later when Nate was already like about to hit his peak or his upwards trajectory, and but yeah. So we'll see. That's interesting now. You think he's not going to be back then?
I think guys like that need challenges. Mm-hmm. Guys like that. I'm not comparing myself to Mr. Waugh, but guys that succeed at one thing need to move on to something else in order to find that same drive. I think he will. If he's the owner, he can always go back and be the coach. He always has a position with the Quebec Ramparts. But guys like that win something at a certain level, I think need to move on to find that extra drive to dig deeper. Because going back to Quebec next year, if he wanted to do it, great, go for it. But he said himself he's not re-signing as a head coach. He wants to go do something else. I just think that there's something deeper he wants to achieve. Think about it. A Stanley Cup as a player or a goalie, a President's Cup as a coach in the Q. Imagine if he got a cup as a coach in the NHL.
Or even like a GM.
Sure. I don't know.
Yeah.
It just, guys like that just feed off greatness always need to find a new challenge. And a new challenge is what he will find after this year. It'd be sick if they won the Mem Cup. I don't know anything about the other CHL teams. I rarely know much. I don't even know anything about Quebec, other than that they won. But if they have a shot in hell at winning the Memorial Cup, and they do, look out. Look
I wish
out.
those Moose made it.
He could have any job in hockey. Maybe not any job, but he could have a handful.
He could have the Leafs GM job. Woohoo.
He could. Can you imagine? Could you imagine?
That's like Hextall going to work for the Penguins, like when he was a Philly guy his entire career.
They let him go, Hextall?
Yeah, he's gone. Him and Burke.
Yeah. Imagine, though, if he's in Toronto. How much time are we at right now?
48 minutes.
48 minutes?
Yeah.
Just an overall really, really memorable weekend. I'll say that. Even though the weekend's still here, you can still put your feet up. You can still do what you want. Just being able to get away, head out to Bridgewater, watch sports, be with another couple, eat great food, come back to the city, and have just I hate people that shit on Halifax and say there's nothing to do and yada yada. Toronto's a bigger market, Vancouver, Montreal. But just a really, really unique experience to be able to experience that President's Cup final in Halifax and just, come right from the cottage, be able to watch golf, knowing that there's a chance a Canadian could win. Just a lot of excitement, I guess, this past 3 days. And to be able to come home and go watch that Mooseheads game was just awesome. Really, really, really fun experience. And like I said, one of the most memorable years when it comes to hockey for me, just being able to watch all these games. Got to see my first Leafs-Habs game my first ever game at the Bell Center. Got to experience the World Juniors and them win arguably the next new Sidney Crosby, Connor McDavid, in Connor Bedard. Just watch him display his talents. Got to watch the President's Cup final in Halifax. I'm sure I'm missing a couple
Leafs
others.
Playoff game.
I got to go to a Leafs playoff game. Forgot about that.
Yeah, I got
Ice Jam, like that was awesome. Some of these tournaments that we got to experience, it's going to be what?
The Meltdown,
the Montreal Meltdown. There's so many I'm forgetting, and it's going to be hard next year to top this. Even though I'm not going to, we just have people that are listening. Look out, we could be like a television network next year with the amount of content we could be putting out. I can't say anything yet. Actually, we could be bigger than a television network. Let's screw that. There's I don't want to hype it up, but man, everyone that's listening right now, oh, buddy.
This is the classic corporate speak.
Yeah.
Oh, you just wait until you see what we got coming next year.
It's not even just
we got announcements on announcements on announcements. I hate it when brands do that, man. But yeah, some things take time. That's business, right?
No, it's man, just wait. We could be having an announcement when like July. We could maybe have a couple announcements.
Yeah.
Just hold on. What do they say? Like, hold on to your socks.
Yeah,
because things are gonna be moving. Not that things aren't moving right now, but things are gonna get going. Just sit down, enjoy the ride, and this is gonna be one of the best years I think of our lives, and hopefully the people at home listening, watching, it's gonna be one of the best years of your lives because you're gonna be able to. Man, this company's pretty fun. It's a pretty sick company. I think it's gonna be one of the cooler, if not the cooler companies in Atlantic Canada, across Canada in the next 5 years. There's just so much potential happening right now, and it's just sick. It's just awesome.
Yeah, there's a lot of balls in the air, man. There's a lot.
You just got to go grab them.
Yeah, exactly. Grab them and manage them, see what's up.
Yeah.
The quick shout out before we finish to my mother's book, Mommy Don't. It's a big book launch this Wednesday at the Halifax Central Library. My mom wrote that book. It's on the Canadian bestsellers list right now. So
that's sick.
Yeah, I know it's done really good. She's been on with Paul Brothers, all the boys, CTV, CBC, all that stuff. So shout out to that. Pick up a copy. True crime if you're into it. It's not a super long, overwhelming book, but it's about a local murder in Bridgewater from a few years ago. So I had to get that in there. Free ad read. Perks of the job, baby.
When's the book reading at Chapters?
No, it's at the Halifax Central Library,
Oh,
the
it's at
big
the-
fancy one.
On Spring Garden?
Yeah. It's Wednesday night. I
What
believe
time?
at 7.
Is she reading the whole book?
No, it's like she does like a in-person like interview like this. Like you talk back and forth about the book for a bit, and then she reads like an excerpt, and then like everyone just kind of convenes. It's in like one of their big conference rooms, I guess.
No way.
Yeah,
That's exciting.
it's cool stuff. Yeah, she started writing that book years and years ago, so I've seen it all the way through. So proud of you, Cher. But yeah, we'll see.
Right on.
There you
Well,
go.
great job, Cher. Good luck on the read on Wednesday. Everyone listening, once again, we can't thank you guys enough for the support. We appreciate you. Everyone at the Scotiabank Center this past weekend and everyone that I spoke to at the rink, thanks for saying hi. I love that stuff. Every time someone yells hi button at me, I'm still floored. No one yells Justin. Everyone just yells hi button. I love it. So if you saw me and you yelled at me, I appreciate it. Enjoy the week, because right now you're still on the weekend, so you can still do whatever the hell you want. No responsibilities. Do what you want. Have fun. Put your feet up. And I think that's all I got to say, all right? Make sure to do that prayer tonight at dinner for Boston, Game 4, because we got to go to Game 5, all right? We're out.
Yeah.
Peace.